Hello, people. It's your boss, man, back again with another podcast with the rival fans. Don't worry, Ahmed is going to be joining us. He's slightly bottling, obviously, our sponsor for you, standard procedure. But listen, as always, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, like 4 or 5 subscribers of 650. So we'd appreciate all the support. As always, make sure you show love to the boys. Their links are in the description. I'm joined by Kojo, Daniel, and the Lawless. Special guest Daniel, obviously. Sorry, I knew you was upset last time because I didn't give you a proper intro in it. So.
Appreciate it.
Boys, how are we doing? We good?
Yeah,
as good as can be. As good as can be.
Don't worry, Lawless, man. I'm on your side, man. I'm team West Ham. I want you guys to do well. Hopefully, things will turn around sooner or later. As always, make sure you get your comments here. We're going to cover as many games as we possibly can. And then we're going to look ahead to the games coming up on the weekend. Of course, the big one being Chelsea against Liverpool. So we're going to do 2 previews for Chelsea because, of course, we've got a game in an hour as well. But anyways, let's get straight into it. We're going to start with Leeds against Liverpool. We all sat here, did our predictions. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we all said Leeds are going to do well this season. I'm pretty sure everyone had Leeds down as their sort of dark horse, although everyone kind of anticipated it. But listen, 4-3 final score. Probably one. Well, I suppose it's the first game, one of the first games of the season, but it might be one of the games of the season. Anyways, to be honest, Daniel, we come with you first and foremost, mate. What were your thoughts on the game? Because Leeds, to be fair, they played football, man. They didn't sit back. They went to play football at Anfield. Fair play to them.
I guess what it is that it's highlighted, or it's more blatantly for people who are maybe a bit in denial or whatever, highlighted how Liverpool's deficiency in the market has also reflected itself on the pitch as well, fam. When you win the league, everyone knows it. Well, obviously not West Ham, but United, Chelsea, when you win the league, you need to improve your squad for the next season. Do you get what I'm saying? It's important. And as well as that, the combination of improving your squad for the season after and being on top for 2 years straight. Man City, 2 years straight on top. 3rd year, they don't go out in the market and invest, losing company, and then they have a bit of a bad year. Same goes for Liverpool. 2 years straight at the top. It's hard for players to maintain that standard. And if you don't invest in competition, top quality competition, then there's going to be a problem. Look at Werner. They didn't want to pay the piece for Werner. If you have Werner competing with Firmino, you have a quality squad, competition for places. Look at Jamal Lewis. They were haggling over about £3 million to buy Jamal Lewis, and Newcastle go and buy him, and he looks like a very, very good steal for them. So it's just consistent. Thiago, £30 million. You think if Chelsea really, really needed him, they would have done the job already, and that's what Liverpool should be doing. They've got the Champions League, they've got the Premier League. I know there's something, obviously it's a better place for a Liverpool fan to explain that, but I know they've got FSG apparently. Once they start being successful, they start putting money into the company and whatnot. But yeah, they've just been, and this is something that's been happening since the turn of the year. If you remember, Liverpool, since that Watford loss, that 3-0 Watford loss, they've not looked the same. Everything's been shaky. Their wins have been shaky. So yeah, man, it's worrying signs defensively more so, yeah.
Well, just to come in there, because I know this is what Liverpool fans are going to say. The league was already won in it, so I don't think you can take. I don't think you can look at the other games after the Watford game and think, well,
but it's carried on. Remember, even the Community Shield. Think about the Community Shield as well.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's the start of the new season. It's the start of the new season. You have to go out and show Arsenal that we're still better than you by far. And they ended up losing the game. So it's worrying signs.
They had the points record to go for as well, even though they had the league wrapped up.
Yeah, that is true. So just obviously, Daniel, you've gone down the route of recruitment, which of course we will mention at some point during the show for individual teams, etc. But who better to talk about than recruitment or lack of it than Lawless? I'm sorry, but you know I got looking for you, man. But tell us
perfect transition.
I know exactly. Tell us about Liverpool's lack of recruitment as a fan. That club doesn't give a shit, clearly, evidently, which we will touch on later. What are your thoughts on what Daniel said? Do you think there's any truth in that? The fact that they do need to go again and they might become a bit, I don't want to use the word predictable, but in a sense, a lot of those players, the opposition team will be familiar in terms of the patterns of play and the manners in which they conduct themselves, so to speak.
Well, apparently they're a different kind of club. Like, if you listen to Klopp, like they're a different type of club. They don't need investors. They don't need new players. They don't need any players. No, it's right though. But you've got to look at your strength and your weakest areas. And for them to just think that, oh yeah, look, we smashed the league last year and we won the Champions League the year before, and just to think that they can just go out with that same squad is a bit arrogant, really. From FSG, and there's no reason with the money they're getting in, they can't, no one's saying they need to go and splash another 150 million or whatever, but sign a couple of really good players to improve on those key positions. Like, so it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird from their owners that they wouldn't look to do that. So I don't know what they're trying to do with that money. Then I don't know what it is they're looking to do. What is still because their net spend they're pretty healthy. The money they've spent, they got back on the Coutinho. It's not like they've just splashed a big load of money and they're trying to deal with it, so they're trying to pay it off or whatever, like we apparently did. But yeah, so the whole situation is a bit bizarre.
Well, they've just won the league, so they haven't really got an excuse. And they won the Champions League. Well, the Liverpool fans will tell you they won in the same league, same season, but they won the Champions League the season prior as well. So they've got money. So I don't think that's the case. It just comes down. You summed it perfectly, which is exactly what I was going to say. I actually think it's arrogance from FFG, to be honest, because Thiago's 27 million euros, or whatever, maybe 30 million euros. You're talking about one of the best players in the world. You're not talking about any Tom, Dick, and Harry. This guy is literally known for being world class. He's earned his stripes, so to speak. 29. He'll come into that team and completely revolutionize that midfield in terms of not only quality, but in terms of the way they play. A lot of people, including myself, think they're missing quality in the middle of the park. And Coach, I'll come to you. Do you think this game highlighted Liverpool's frailties, or do you think that wasn't the case? It's just Leeds were just brilliant, because they were fantastic as well. We've got to give them a lot of credit also.
No, Leeds were fantastic, but I think from the time when they lost to Atletico, we saw a bit of some defensive mistakes. Obviously, they like to blame Adrian for that loss, but he was at fault for one goal. He wasn't at fault for all the goals he conceded. And ever since then, they have conceded some very sloppy goals. The goals they conceded against Leeds were an absolute disgrace. That was a disaster class, to be honest. I mean, you saw Trent and Gomez. I understand he's still kind of developing. He's 23 or 24 years old now. Who doesn't apparently know how to or when to close down. His decision making at times is poor. Van Dijk, very, very relaxed, very, very chilled.
That was arrogance starting from Van Dijk.
It's pure arrogance just to defend like that. And the thing is, we always talk about players being aware of what's around them. He didn't even look left or right once. He just decided to just try and do over the hell he was trying to do. He had no idea where Bamford was. The first goal, to be fair, I'm not going to criticize too much because that was a beautiful strike. It was a beautiful goal. Well,
good passes, to be fair.
Exactly. So I haven't got too much to say on that one. But it was a disaster class. And like Daniel pointed out, against Arsenal as well, they were exposed at the back quite comfortably, both at the Emirates at the end of the season in the league and in the Community Shield. So look at me smiling. Look how happy he is. So it has been coming. And the thing is, competition is very, very key to keep players motivated. By the end of the day, if they're going to keep slacking at some point, they're going to take a lot more points. And they'll be hitting near 99. They'll be hitting probably like 80 something, which, I think now to win the Premier League, you probably have to get about 90 plus now to be around there. But if they continue like this, they're not winning the league title.
Yeah, no, I first and foremost, right, I just want to take into consideration that they did the exact same thing against Norwich, if I'm not mistaken, first game of the season. When I know they beat Norwich 4-1, but it did look like Norwich causing a lot of problems in defence. I remember, obviously, Pookie got the goal, but in particular, every time Norwich were going forward in that game, it looked like they were going to score. And I don't know if it's just a similar sort of pattern to that. I do agree in terms of definitely need to recruit again, and I'm sure a lot of Liverpool fans, would agree with that sentiment also. But I was going back to call you Musa. And Ahmed, do you think there's a case that, obviously, Leeds were fantastic. It was just an off day, but they still got the 3 points. They did what they do best. They got the points somehow. Obviously, they got a penalty late on. For me personally, I've got to be honest, I thought Liverpool deserved to win the game. I just thought they were very wasteful. In particular, Firmino was absolutely dreadful for me in the final third. But I thought even before Leeds got that third goal, I thought Liverpool should have been outside. They had so many overloads that they didn't capitalise on for me. But What are your thoughts, Ahmed? And then obviously we have to talk about Mo Salah's hat-trick, of course.
Yeah, of course. First of all, like credit where credit is due. Leeds was for me like inspirational. Like they took their chances. Yeah, no, they took their chances, and I think they should have at least got a draw. I'll be honest with you. Liverpool. All I can say is with Van Dijk, like he was, like you said before, arrogant, very complacent. He looked like he was just so relaxed, like he knew he was gonna get the ball, but somehow he makes a mistake, like he's not capable of making a mistake. And it's what I said as well in the last video. Like they don't seem like a team that's full of hunger. Obviously, Mohamed Salah is just quality. I know he pretty much won the game. And Mane, he you know what, Mane's still obviously like one of the best players in the Premier League. But for me, there's cracks in the Liverpool team, and it's showing. And the way that Leeds played, it was very similar to how Arsenal were playing against Leeds, just hitting them on the counter. And you know what? That's all I can say really about that, honestly. But it's just the first game of the week. Obviously, I won't read into that too much. I still think that Liverpool are going to be fighting for the title. You know, even if they lost that game or took that draw, they can take that and still be confident and still get results like as the season goes on. So for me, it's not a big L for Leeds or Liverpool either way.
Yeah, just to finish off on obviously Salah, new trim but same player. Daniel May, this guy, well, I suppose he scored 2 pens, but in general, I thought his performance was absolutely fantastic. So just to give him his praise and a bit of positivity, because there's a bit of positive to take. You know, they weren't at their best in certain instances, but they kept coming back. Obviously, they got the winner in the end, which in typical fashion.
But 2 penalties. That's the only thing. There's 2 penalties.
Yeah, but to be fair,
That doesn't matter.
The second goal was beautiful, though.
And Bamford, when he went past Becker, obviously Alisson, that even then he should have took a shot. And you know what? Yeah, that could have been a different game, man. Like, you know what? Like, I respect Leeds the way that they came at Liverpool. Like,
yeah, but you can say that. You can look. I'm a Man United fan. Like, you know, even I'm saying this, but you can say that about Liverpool. Like, I watched the second half closely, and the amount of overloads Liverpool had. They had so many 3-2s, and they must have had at least a good 5 before Leeds got the 3rd goal. And there was one where Firmino got played the ball, and I don't even know what he did. Like Mane played.
That's Firmino though.
Mane played it to Firmino, and then his defensive striker instincts kicked in and thought, "Fuck this! I need to clear it out." But you know, this should have been outside. But Daniel, I'll pass it to you. But what you're just obviously to finish off.
I mean,
Salah stole the show, didn't he? Really.
100%. Regardless of I know obviously we make jokes about United and the penalties thing as well, but at the end of the day, penalties are part of the. Like when we take all the banter aside, there's still goals in it, and it adds to your tally. And when you look at Salah now, let's take today out of it. Or we include the Leeds game. He has now 76 goals in 109 games for Liverpool. And I said this on my pod that he is the best goal scoring winger that we've ever seen in the Premier League. Full stop.
Bro, what? Delete that.
He is.
Did Ronaldo not exist?
No, but Salah's still the best goal scoring winger we've seen. Because you have to remember that. No. Hold on. Let me land it in it. It's coming from a place of Ronaldo did it, I'd say. Like we saw the goal scoring trait in his last season, and then he went on to do greater things. It's just like how people say Henry is the greatest Premier League player we've seen.
3 good season, I'd say.
I mean, I think Salah has the record for goals in season.
Yeah, but I don't look at stats, man. Ronaldo's a better player than for me, without a doubt.
No, I didn't say player. I said goal scorer.
I'd even argue Bale was absolute sensation.
Not a better goal scorer. He wasn't
a better goal scorer than Salah.
He wasn't a better goal scorer than Salah.
Yeah, maybe a better catalogue, but not overall goals.
Yeah. Complete player.
Ronaldo for me, but it doesn't matter. Anyways.
I still think it's Salah, and he's putting himself. Fair. I'm talking about goal scorer as well, not player. And I'm saying he's putting himself in a conversation with the best strikers that we've seen, where he could be considered one of the best goal scorers we've seen, full stop. Because look at his goal tally. His goal to games ratio is crazy, and it's something we've never seen before. And when are we going to give someone like him credit? It's because he's not easy on the eye. People are saying he hasn't passed the eye test. That's why I still say exclusively goal scorer. No one can tell me that this guy isn't. He's a walking hat trick. Like they say in basketball, there's a term. Some players are walking triple doubles because of their build. They can get a double in assists, double in points, and double in rebounds. He's a walking hat trick. He's literally like Aguero. They're so threatening. And you don't know what Salah would show up, but you need to make sure you mark him to the fullest because he could just go off. And that's my opinion in it. Obviously, it's Ronaldo, but yeah, man, I definitely think Salah 3 years consistently, and he's still going to be in the Premier League for a long time. So yeah.
I think Mane is better than him. That's probably why I'm saying that. I'll be honest with you. I still think Mane. I suppose goal scorer, you can't. As a player, I'd say Mane is better, but I suppose you can't argue with Salah in terms of goal scoring because he's probably the greediest player I've seen in Liverpool shirt in a long time. So that's just me. I know Liverpool fans say the same things. I'm not even being biased here. But Lawless, we'll pass it to you. What are your thoughts on Salah? Obviously, his performance, 2 penalties and all. They count now because obviously it's not Man United player that scored them.
Wow. I love it. I love the little saltiness in there. Slip
Nah,
that in.
it's not me that, yeah. I just found it funny, but when Bruno scores, he's not scored, did it? But anyways, Lawless, squad, talk to me about Salah, man, because obviously, fair play to him. I think he won them that game, even without his goals, to be fair. His performance was
I mean, he's someone obviously a lot of people looked upon after his first season and said, is he going to be like a one-season wonder? Like, that was the big thing, mainly coming out from Man United fans. I think Man United fans were mainly putting out that propaganda that come on, you're telling me that talk of one-season wonder that he was gonna be after the first season.
I'm not gonna lie.
That was primarily the fan base of a certain Guna over here.
Yeah, it was Arsenal. I probably said it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I probably did say it at some point.
Probably more wishful thinking.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? But it's funny though. Like you talk about. Obviously, Daniel said like he'll be here in the Premier League for a long time. With the way Liverpool are, like if a big European club comes knocking like a Real Madrid or a Barcelona with a big offer, are FFG going to be the sort of club to turn it down? And is Salah going to be the sort of player to turn it down? Obviously, we saw with Coutinho, like they chucked big money at Coutinho. So, like, surely it could be a matter of time before someone puts an offer in and says, come see him. And he might just want a new challenge. I mean, he's won the Champions League and Premier League with Liverpool. Maybe he's going to want to go to a different league like the La Liga and have a new challenge and win something else. It's time will tell. So he's definitely he will smash it over there. He will absolutely smash it.
I can imagine him in the Real Madrid kit, to be fair. I can't imagine him in Barcelona. I think he's too greedy for that. I'm not going to lie. But they're going to have to replace someone on the wrapping at some point. But listen, we've got some good news for all the Man United fans watching. We've got Ed Woodward in the chat. He said, don't worry, Sancho's coming. So brilliant news. So I appreciate it, bro. That's it. I'm going to start tweeting after this. Listen, let's move away from Liverpool. At the end of the day, they got the 3 points, which is the most important thing. And it's the first game of the season, like Ahmed said. No, let's not look into it too deeply. Ahmed, I'll come to you first. Obviously, we're going to start with you, then Kojo will come to you. Gabriel, I said like that and come outside, bro. What are you saying? I'm hearing comparisons with Rio Ferdinand. Everything, like Vidic, this guy's the next big thing. Because obviously you beat the mighty Fulham in it. So talk to me, bro. 3-0 against Fulham. What are you saying?
All I can say, he was the man of the match. Best start you can ask for in the Premier League. Best debut. But obviously it is just the first game. And we saw that little edginess in the beginning, that little shakiness where that little miscommunication with Bernardo. And obviously, for me, I still think he needs that leader next to him. I don't think he can continue to play in the middle and lead the back line. So until David Luiz comes back, he's still a rock. He's had the most passes in the whole game for us. So that's a lot. He's gonna be a quality player for the future, honestly. So that's why I was really gassed when he bought him. You know what I mean? So that's all I can say.
Yeah, I look. I know a lot of Twitter on beef on Twitter, whatever. I've been just chatting shit about this guy, but look, fair play to him. He did look fantastic. I've got to be honest. But I'm just gonna throw it out there. It's only Fulham, Daniel. Under Emery, they beat Fulham as well, 5-1, and obviously, that was a lot of us fans said at the back then. Daniel,
they scored a very good goal that day as well.
Was that the Ramsey one?
Yeah, I believe it was anyway. Yeah,
I don't know. That was probably the goal of the season for me. I've got to be honest. But so what were your thoughts against Arsenal? Because obviously I've got a bit of opinion on their performance. I thought second half they were brilliant. First half for me they were absolutely terrible. I've got to be honest. For what I expected. No, Arsenal. I thought you scored that goal by, like I said, in my opinion, it was very fortunate. And after that, I thought you were going to kick on and hit him for 2-3. Do you know what I mean? I know you eventually did in the second half, but I don't know. That's my
Yeah.
thoughts. Daniel, what do you recommend? Was he impressed with the performance? You know, job done, really, so to speak. Innit?
Yeah, I do think it's a bit unfair to say maybe they were terrible. I
Ain't
think
it? Salty.
I think if Camara scores that goal, it may be a different game if he goes around the keeper more confidently and whatnot. But they did the job. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, you have to remember that when we look at the Premier League and look at when we get to the final day and we look at the table, we don't really look at context. It's where
that's true.
it's where you finish. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, Arteta looks like he's building something. Aubameyang is looking like a really, really confident finisher. Like he's looking like a serial killer right now.
Yeah.
Definitely up there in the world in terms of strikers. Yeah, I mean, I don't think too much can be said. Like they had good debuts. The Willian thing, yes, he had a very good game. But if you ask any Chelsea fan, that's what Willian is. Like he will have the game of his life and then go missing for 10 games. I don't know if you
Chill
remember.
out. Wait. What about his defensive play? The way he was tracking back and
No.
defending.
I know.
Now,
This is all what we know about Willian already. Like, in fact, trust me, I've had him for what, like close to 10 years now. So I know Willian inside out. I'm saying that the problem with Willian is with his talent, with his ability, he doesn't produce on a game-to-game basis. My thing about Arsenal now and seeing this win is what games me out, Moose. Who's the next game? Or did I cut out?
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said.
You completely lagged
sorry,
out
sorry.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, apologies. But yeah, I'm saying that the problem with Willian is what can he produce on a game-to-game basis. So my thing is with the Fulham win, Fulham and West Brom are going to be the whipping boys this season. My thing is I'm looking forward to Arsenal's next game. That's when I can make a real assessment of how good this team will be.
They've got West Ham up, they're not.
Oh, they got West Ham left.
Yeah.
West
Okay,
Ham,
the third game.
I guess Liverpool's gonna be the biggest test. Liverpool will be the biggest test.
Sorry,
We
Dan.
need to do a preview between YouTube and that as well on this show as well. So that
Jeez.
surely.
Well, can I say one thing? Can I say one thing on the back of that? Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
You know what? When we signed Willian, like the way that I saw it was, he's gonna keep doing them balls, to Aubameyang, which is what he did straight away. So for me, I don't mind if he's not gonna have that much end product.
Switch I've ever seen, bro.
I'm not getting gassed over that. I'm not getting gassed over that. I'm not getting gassed over that. But we don't have that much playmakers in our team here that can do that sort of pass. All we can rely on is Xhaka and El Neni or Ceballos sometimes. But even with Ceballos, his passes aren't always like, he doesn't always do like the long passes. He might do the short passes and try to dribble through. But with me, like Willian, I wanted someone that can be reliable with the passes and obviously set pieces. Like he can take all our free kicks. I do not mind. When he hit the post, oh my days, my heart stopped. So yeah,
good. Yeah,
we come for free end of the day.
Yeah, this is a good point, actually, to be fair to Arch. I think I do need to acknowledge this. Arsenal's a record away from home has absolutely been terrible. So, a good away result for them, really, in terms of 3-0 away from home. So we've got to take that into consideration as well, to respect that. Kojo, I'll come to you. What were your thoughts on the game, and what did you take away from it?
Usually when Arsenal go to a game like this, even if they win, 9 times out of 10, they look hella shaky. But they were just assertive. And that's the thing. I know people say it's only Fulham, but there's a difference between being Fulham as Fulham and there's laying the smackdown on Fulham. That's literally what they did. They get the one of their rock bottom beatings. It was very comfortable, if I'm being honest. I don't remember any Fulham sort of danger. I don't remember doing anything of merit or anything of note. And yeah, I think it just speaks truth of what's going to happen to them this season. But credit to Arsenal. Obviously, the new players settled in quite quickly. They did their thing very well. You see, Arteta's trained them very quickly to play into the system, so it all fits. You even got Rob Holding doing keepy uppies in the middle of the pitch.
That was so funny.
They're going to build in confidence bit by bit. And like I said, when it comes to the big test, because beating Liverpool in the Community Shield is one thing. That's Community Shield game. It now comes to the league.
And the league. Remember last year in the league as well.
Yeah, I know, but that's a new season. It's a new season. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, calm.
So if you guys are gonna be about it this year, because we're in the same boat as well. If we're gonna be about it this year, we need to beat someone big. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when the real test comes, you'll see what they're made of. And if they win and they win another one, then it could be all right, cool. They're building something. But right now, so far so good.
Yeah, you got obviously at the end of the day away win. You can't obviously discount that. But Knowles, we'll come to you. Obviously, I want to actually talk about the system as well in terms of, the formation. Of course, Tobias didn't start. El Nelly's come out of God knows where to be playing the first
The Egyptian party.
the best Egyptian in the league, some would say, but obviously I leave that open to debate. Lonas, what were your thoughts? Because obviously Arteta, he didn't mix it up, but obviously he's changed the system. I don't know if that's the preferred, but what did you make of it?
Well, first of all, it's so funny that El Nene thing, because on one of our shows on West Ham Fan TV, like we was talking about like Arsenal players we're linked with, and I'm like, I don't want some like reject like El Nene, and everyone was like, El Nene, like what happened to that guy? Like everyone was like, it was just a random one, like no one had heard from this guy. Then all of a sudden he pops up again. I didn't even know he was, what was going on with El Nene. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm hearing a lot of big talk from the panel about Arsenal tonight. However, I think we need to chill. We need to chill out, because look, even if they go on a run, because Kojo said like if they win the next game and the next game and next game, then we can have big talks. But look at that massive, what was it like this, like 11, 12, 20 games? 23 game unbeaten run they went under Emery. Yeah. Right? Where's Emery?
A lot of draws though. There's a lot of draws.
But what I'm saying is what I'm trying to say is
you weren't saying it was a lot of draws at the time.
Unbeaten.
But what I'm trying to say is if the wins are continuously assertive, if it's like, because the Arsenal, when they go on runs in the last couple of years, it's always but they just got away with it, and then the eventual hiding comes, and then when they face a big point, they get absolutely slapped. But if they can win assertive and they go into a big game and actually come out looking good and get a win or at least a draw, then I could look at them and say, okay, you're building something. You're not big because you finished 8th last year. Take your time, but you're building something. You know what I mean? Like something you can see
with the trophy.
But that's what I'm saying. Like people are acting like even this win against Fulham, like Arsenal have never, like under Wenger or like the later Wenger or Emery had a convincing.
I'm talking Emery. I'm talking Emery past.
Even Emery, they've had performances where they've just slapped people off the park.
And we got slapped. I remember that 3-0 against you when Peter Cech had his debut. Like we got slapped up by Aston Villa before. We've been slapped up by teams before.
No, but don't say that now, because it was the same. Arteta was the same manager in charge when you faced Brighton and you lost.
Calm.
When the thing is, I was going to give so much credit to Arsenal after the win, comfortable win, opening day. Then I go on AFTV and I see Gabriel is looking like Rio Ferdinand, and I'm just like, oh, here we go.
I've not heard that. I've not heard that, man.
This is the problem.
On a level,
it's tiring. But sometimes with Arsenal fans, you want them to, you want to reason with them, say, all right, cool, but then they go and say something outrageous, and then you're just like, all right, stay in your lane. That's why we banter them.
When have you ever had like a big, powerful, strong, unpacey defender? So the last one Gary had,
Koscielny was one of the best. Koscielny in his prime was one of the best centre backs in the league. Koscielny in his prime was one of the best centre backs in the league. Koscielny. Remember, there was a period of time. Yeah, there was a period of time no one could get past Koscielny.
I wish Cahill was here, because me and anyway, you know what? Do.
But this is what I'm saying. Like every centre back that you've ever signed, every defender you've ever signed, when these first few games, like you've all said this about the same things about these.
Mustafi went on a 20-game run. Every time Mustafi played, you didn't lose.
He's a World Cup winner. He's a World Cup winner.
Yeah, like this is.
Listen, can I say one thing there? Yeah, this guy's not. Don't forget, this guy's not played football competitively for how many months? Like 6 months in it. So, Gabriel, because obviously he's from the French league.
So let's not judge. So let's not judge him. Then. Let's not act like he's a world top player. Then let's see.
I never said that. I actually said if you have someone like David Luiz, I never said that though. I'm a gas fan.
Hyping up Luiz again. Are you now hyping up David
Luiz? Communication, because the language. That's all he needs. Do you get me?
Portuguese.
Yeah.
What is this? FIFA getting the chemistry with the FIFA. Look at that green line.
Get it to 10, 100%.
That thing is overrated anyway, man.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, here's the thing with Arteta as well. And I was saying this when I was the other day. I said his big test is gonna come, like not even this season, like maybe the next season or whatever. Because here's the thing: when Arsene Wenger was getting top 4 every season consistently, fans were saying Wenger out, Wenger out, and he was
That's
getting top 4 consistently. So when is it going to get to the point now where it's not like, oh yeah, like top 4 is good enough, you can just get us into top 4, the process, trust the process. Like when is it going to be the point of, no, we need to be challenging, we need to be, you know, challenging for that champions, challenging for them, judging him by the same standards you judged Wenger by when he didn't even have the same backing.
Didn't he
I
tell
reckon.
Willie Yan that he's going to win he wants to win Champions League in 3 years?
Within
That's
3
what
years.
Willie Yan said, right?
Yeah.
And they're
Okay,
not
so
even
let's give
in
it
it
3
in the
years.
first year.
That's a
Yeah,
plan.
but they're not in it in this year. He can only win it in 2 years.
This year, I already called it. We're gonna get top 4 this year, so behave, lads. And the next year, we'll talk about challenge for the title after the season. Just wait until next summer. Wait until next summer.
No, guys, chill. That's good. That's good. It's good you said that.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's remember that, because you have signed 2 50 million pound strikers and you've not put them in European Champions League. That's your fault. So you better put them in there this year.
Yeah.
And if you don't,
Don't worry.
You know what?
Honestly,
I'm taking a picture of this date.
Ben's clipping it as his big.
a
I'm taking a
Bamian.
picture of this date.
I respect your optimism, right? There's an Arsenal fan in here that thinks I'm salty.
Evidence.
There's an Arsenal fan in here, right? You think we're salty. Look, I'm just gonna summarize it. I'm gonna move on because it's not Arsenal show, is it? Look, I'm not salty. Good away win, fair play. All I'm saying is just take it one game at a time. I've seen so many Arsenal players come in. Look, you beat Fulham 5-1 in the Emirates. So
mind that. And we got Arsenal back. We're not doing that now. Chill out. Don't worry.
Some people are, man.
Trust me, some people are. Anyways,
the hype is real.
Let's move on, because obviously I don't want to go into it because I don't want people to know, oh, look, these guys hate Arsenal or whatever. Anyways, let's move on to another team that, to be fair, 3 of you do hate. Spurs lost to Everton 1-0. I'm sure you are all going to come together and pitch it on this one. I've got a feeling. First game of the season, look, I'm just going to throw this out there straight away. You know, I said on the predictions that Everton, for me, might potentially get 6. Again, it's only the first game, but what I'm trying to say is they are a good team, so I'm not going to get too carried away with Spurs losing this. But it's the manner of the performance for me, which was the most damning from Spurs. It's the first game of the season, as you think, even me, like going to five-side league or whatever, first game, I'm thinking, okay, we need to start off well. You think the players would be up for it, and it looked the complete opposite. Daniel, we'll start with you because I know you're a massive Spurs fan, mate. What were your thoughts, bro, on the game? Obviously, you can talk to Jose if you want, because it's going to come up at some point.
I think, I think for us, it's best to say that Everton were quality. New signings bedded in very, very well. That's what happens when you give Ancelotti the players that he wants. That's what you call investing with the aid or with the guidance of your manager and investing into a system that he wants to go with. You could see that when we saw the lineup, everyone's thinking, oh, he's going back to 4-4-2. And funnily enough, he actually played a 4-4-3, and they looked quality. On the ball, possession, quality. Allen shielding that back 4. So much more protection. Then you got Decore, box-to-box midfielder, Premier League experience. He's got that. You got Andre Gomez, deep line playmaker, someone who's a very, very quality player. You got Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I had an argument with someone the other day. Someone was telling me Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison aren't good enough to lead Everton's forward line, but I disagree. You have Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin, who both scored 15 goals in all comps last year, and they can really kick on the next season. And then you've got James Rodriguez, who, in my opinion, he wasn't spectacular, but every time he got the ball, I thought something was going to happen. Like, he's going to be that kind of player for them this season. Like, you know, that player who, once he gets the ball, you're on the edge of your seat. You're excited. Yeah. Like, that's what it's going to be for United if you get Sancho, and going to be for us when we see Havertz. Like, every time we see them get the ball, it's going to be like something could happen. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
Those special kind of players. Tottenham, on the other hand, it's the little things. The Doherty signing, we always said, will he be able to make the transition from right wing back to right back? And obviously, on first showings, it didn't look very, very promising. He was like the furthest winger on the pitch, and he forgot he doesn't have Willy Bolly behind him. He's flipping got Eric Dyer and Toby Alderweireld. Downgrade, like literally. So yeah, Tottenham. My thing about Tottenham is Tottenham fans, a lot of them, I see them say Mourinho this, Mourinho that. My thing is, you knew what you were getting with Mourinho.
Yeah.
You're not going to dominate games with the ball. You're not going to
Facts.
have possession. You're not going to have bundles, loads of chances. You're not going to have that. That's not Mourinho, and that's why people are forgetting Mourinho is there to just win them a trophy, not to build anything, not to be a Pochettino, not to give him time. He's there to win a cup competition. I still believe he'll win that cup competition for them. However, in terms of the league, maybe I gave them a bit too much credit, and I don't know. Maybe I might have to backtrack on my prediction because I thought with Mourinho, yes, they'll be able to maneuver with the league. But on first showings, I wasn't very convinced. Yeah, first game, but it's same old Mourinho. And if teams are getting better, surely there's going to come a point where Tottenham will get worse, and that will translate in their position on the table. So yeah.
Yeah, I think for me personally, obviously we'll talk about Mourinho. They've already got a comment here from an Arsenal fan taking the piss out of Mourinho. No shock there. Listen, I think why did he play wings alongside Højbjerg? That's why I don't like you. Kojo will be able to add to this as well. But as a Man United fan, we played Fellaini, and in fact actually lost to West Ham. Actually, we played Fellaini, McTominay, and Matic against West Ham away. I don't understand why he persists with this. You've got Ndombele, okay, granted you've got issues with him, whatever it may be in it. But what has Sissoko done to you? Is he injured? I know he got sent down at half time. What has Sissoko done? Why is he not starting in the engine room? I don't understand. He's got Winks and Højbjerg, 2 DMs playing, and then they had no creativity. It's not a shock for me personally. Lawless, I'll pass it to you, bro. Obviously just the game in general, what are your thoughts? Because Daniel's already trying to backtrack on his predictions, which ain't possible. But Lawless, what did you reckon? Is it too early to say regarding Spurs, or do you think it looks like a typical Jose? His shit's going to hit the fan. He's blaming his players already.
It's probably a mixture of both. I mean, I don't need to backtrack because if I remember rightly, I didn't even have Spurs in the top 6. If I remember rightly, in my top 6.
You had Wolves.
Yeah, I think I had one of them. Yeah. So I just put that out there. With Tottenham, it's a mad one. Like the way they obviously went from Pochettino, the idea that they sacked Pochettino to go to Mourinho, and I know it's this idea of like he wins trophies, but the whole culture change and the style change is such a big difference. It's like I think there's going to be a bit of a problem in terms of the players not believing in what Jose wants to do, which happens a lot, like not wanting to play the way Jose wants to play, and there seems to be already like a disconnect between him and some of the players. So it's just, I think that they've sort of shot themselves in the foot, and it's not even anything against Jose. It's just the big change that they've tried to go through. So I think that's a big part of the problem. I think he has the experience to maybe try and turn it around if he doesn't lose the players too much. So it is the way, like they've still got obviously some world-class attackers. But they've signed a couple of players, right? And I think there's still time in the transfer window. So if I was Daniel Levy, I'd be like, let's try and get him some players that he needs, some Jose type players in this to help play the system that he wants to play. So they need to do something. Otherwise, at this rate, I can't even see the trophy happening this season.
Yeah, I've got to say, it does have a lot of reminiscence. Obviously, we've all watched the All for Nothing documentary. Now, I thought Jose was absolutely fantastic in terms of his charisma, but in the sense that probably was part of the contract. You have to make Jose look good or some shit. Kojo, what do you reckon? Is there any sort of shades of what we saw at Man United? Or is it literally just first game, a hard game against Everton, a team that just signed 3 midfielders that were all absolutely phenomenal? Let's be honest. A very experienced manager, Ancelotti as well. I'm a massive fan of Ancelotti as well. For me, one of the best in our generation, so to speak. Is it just a matter of you come up against a good manager? Their team was better on the day. Let's not overlook it.
No, I think you can put everything into it. Everton were really good. Ancelotti obviously has drilled his team fantastically well. Managed to get all these. I mean, that's 3 new players that he's put pretty much in the middle of the pitch. Obviously, Gomez started ahead in the middle instead of James. By the end of the day, they were all sort of rotating. 3 new players coming to the team in the space of a week, and you've got them balling out like that. They look good. Yeah. As for Spurs, I feel like there's a serious lack of motivation. I feel like there's a lot of players that are just not good enough. And his selection at times also doesn't help him. I mean, like you said, Harry Winks. unless a Højbjerg, all wink stars.
Sorry, I'm just gonna read this question out. Sorry, this comment out about Dembele. And Dembele, brother, was playing with sand in his boots. Shocking.
Yeah, I think it comes with confidence though. Ndombele is a big time baller. I watched him a lot at Lyon, and a lot of people he received a lot of comparisons to Paul Pogba in terms of the way he can pass and the way he can like dribble through midfield. So I think he just needs the right manager, man. Honestly.
The thing about it, so if you have someone like Ndombele under Mourinho, his off the ball work has to be just as good as his on the ball work, and that's the problem. Because as much as I like him on the ball, if I'm being honest, he doesn't work hard enough off the ball. I'm not asking for him to be like Park Ji-sung and sprint everywhere. That's not possible. But just sort of like, just use your energy a bit more better, because there's clips of him in many games where he could have maybe made a bit more effort.
That comes down to it's the comparison between right investment in terms of Everton, they're buying the players that suit their system, and wrong investment for Tottenham. And Ndombele wasn't a Tottenham player for the time period. Obviously, Pochettino was the one who bought Ndombele as well.
Of course.
Like, he's just a product of a different manager. Wilfred Zaha experienced it when he went to Man United. Ferguson bought him, had Moyes. Moyes didn't want him, got sold.
Bro, at the end of the day, I understand that, that's very fair. But at the end of the day, I'm not asking for you to perfectly fit the system, because sometimes that doesn't work out for all players. I'm just asking for a bit more effort. That's what I'm asking for, because I know your quality. I would never doubt the guy's quality. And in my opinion, if I'm going to pick that team, it will be Højbjerg, Lo Celso, and him in that midfield.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
Like, I would want to see that, because I think that if you put those three in the midfield together, it could actually work beautifully. Yeah. But Mourinho doesn't have that confidence in him. I don't even know if he still has fitness issues. And to be honest, in his 15-minute cameo, he wasn't great. Of course, confidence does come into it as well, because if you're not playing a lot of games, just like Danny Rose said in the documentary, you're not going to build your confidence. You're not going to get back to your match sharpness. You're not going to be at the level that you know you can be at.
So that's on Mourinho. Come outside. I'm looking for Daniel.
Yeah.
So I don't. It's blame on both sides, but truth be told, at the end of the day, I think Spurs are gonna be persistent to try and keep Ndombele at the club, because they spent 40 million on the boy, so he has to stay at the club and he has to play. It could have been. Was it more?
60, I think.
Oh well, then there you go. Then regardless, it's big money.
Yeah, it was big money. He's a big player for me, personally. I agree with Daniel as well. Wrong
manager.
Yeah, he's a good player. I'm going to come to you to finish off on this game, and obviously we'll move on to West Ham and then the preview for Chelsea. I know the game's starting shortly, so I don't want to be too long. What were your sort of thoughts regarding the game, and obviously Jose and Ancelotti, etc.?
Richarlison really should have finished scoring quite a few goals. The way that he took on the keeper and just completely missed it. It was basically an open net. And
should have passed it.
He could have passed it. He could. I agree. He could have. He should have. But even taking the shot, he should get it on target, man. Like that. He didn't even look at the goal. He just took a shot. But anyways, he had a wicked game, and I think this season is make or break it for him. If he wants to get into the Brazilian national team, he has to really step up this year. So I think he's on it, and he's gonna get a lot of service from James Rodriguez. You know what? I'm so salty deep down here.
I was going to ask you why you're not signing.
I don't know why.
Man. As well.
I'm looking at Hassan Aouar, however you say his name.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like Rodriguez, if he was available all that time, why didn't we get him? But maybe because we got Dani Ceballos from Real Madrid. Maybe. Sorry?
No one wanted to take the risk, I guess.
I don't know, man. You know what? Yeah. He's still quality, though. He's still got talent. So, anyways, Everton, they look like they got that energy, revitalized. And obviously, with Mourinho and Tottenham, it looks like they're just going on a decline. So, that's all I can say.
Look, you said that with so much happiness. It's a really
I anticipate. Look, I don't do predictions. I anticipated this. Honestly, I still reckon they're gonna they might get a trophy, but Europa League looks a bit like too much pressure if they don't get that qualifying game. But Premier League is gonna be too hard for them this season. Like, I think I'm a bit too generous giving them 6th place. Honestly, that's all I can say. Honestly, mate, I don't see happiness in that team. Even Son, when I watch it, mate, Son's always smiling. Why is the guy not smiling, bro? The guy was looking angry. He's used to losing. He's still smiling. What do you mean? What do you mean?
I've seen him cry a lot. He's a big crier. Like he loves to cry.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine, bro.
Man said, "How was it?" Red documentary. He studied him in his dick. But anyways, moving on. No less. Let's get your team in there, mate. 2-0 back to West Ham. I don't know if I should start. No, I'm just gonna leave you. I'm just gonna give you the floor, bro. Listen, break it down for us. What are your thoughts, man, on the game? What's the performance? All Newcastle. Where Newcastle? Maybe they're the dark horse. We don't know. They might have actually got very good business done. Hendricks and obviously Wilson doing the job, so to speak. What were your thoughts, bro?
Well, I mean, from the starting lineup, from the moment I saw the starting lineup, I did not have good feelings. Like you're playing Mark Noble as a number 10. We've got like Aaron Creswell is still our starting left back. I mean, it's either him or Masuaku. You've got Anderson on the bench, who was looking good in pre-season, playing in that number 10 role.
Why does he not get a game? I don't understand.
Like Moyes just don't like him. Moyes don't like him, and the thing is, everything I see from him, he seems to have the right attitude in the fact that, you know, he wants to do better. He's hungry. Yeah. He wants to come and prove himself. And like I said, in pre-season, he was looking good. The little 4 measly minutes he got on the pitch in the game justified the fact that he should have been starting. Like you've got Allaire on the bench again, top goal scorer in pre-season. Like pre-season has to be more than just like get the fitness up. You've got to look at your team. You've got to give players a chance to get themselves into that lineup for the first game and figure themselves into your plans. Like he's so lazy. He just was like, oh, this lineup sort of did quite well in like the lockdown, like before the season ended, post lockdown. Let me just play this again. And you can't do that. Like everyone else has changed their team, strengthened their teams. We've had like a few months since then. We've had pre-season. Go and look at the team that you're playing. Go and look at the players that you've got and put out the best possible team. Like he played so negatively. Like he played basically like 3 defensive midfilders at home.
Sorry to interrupt you. I know Ahmed needs to go. Ahmed, do you still need to go at this time?
I do actually. Yeah.
I'll let you say goodbyes. And if you've got any last words, Chelsea are playing in about 10 minutes. You got a quick score prediction for us?
I've got no score prediction. If anything, I'll say maybe 3-0. I kind of expect Chelsea, unfortunately, to, you know, come up with the same sort of quality that Arsenal did. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, I love that. On that note, bro, I catch you in a bit.
Yeah, man. Peace,
same,
bro.
Yeah.
Oh, funny guy. Right, okay. Lawless, yeah, sorry to interrupt you, bro. Yeah.
No, we just look like the away team. We absolutely look like the away team in that game. Like Newcastle. They made some very smart business. I said this when I did the video with Clinton from Geordie's down south. It's like they identified the areas and the players that they needed. And they went out and bought like Premier League experienced players, proven players that would fit into their team. And those were players that we should have looked at. Like Jamal Lewis, we should have signed him. Look, Hendrick was a free. I think it was a free signing. Like, and if we ain't got the money, why aren't we doing that business? So, like, absolutely good business from them. Like, our St. Maxim was great. We hit the crossbar twice. That's a bit of a positive. But you could see the whole team wasn't at it. Everyone was there. I see so much Declan Rice slander, and it's so.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying, "No, get out of our club and stuff." I don't understand.
Yeah, a few idiots. Like it's so lazy and short-sighted. Like this guy was injured throughout pre-season. Then got hoisted straight into the England side, played 90 minutes in both games, basically run ragged, then starting the game against Newcastle. Where is that sort of, build-up intensity where you can play like, okay, so ease yourself in, here's some your pre-season games, then you go in and get more competitive. He's just like, no, he's been thrown straight in the deep end, and everyone's like, just because he has one off game, everyone's just writing him off, and there's fans going, yeah, like let's just take them. He can go to Chelsea if he's not interested. Have a day off, honestly. Like it's ridiculous. But yeah, that really wound me up. But yeah, like it was just the lineup. Like Allaire came on, looked good. Yarmolenko came on. Yeah. He's trying to shoot from outside the box. And it's just not good signs.
Another good player as well, man. He's bagged important goals for you last season. Scored the win against Chelsea. I just don't understand why him and Felipe Anderson. When you sign them two players, right? And I know you got Lanzini in there, Fornals, still good, technically good players. Granted,
but Fornals is a number 10 and he's being played on the left wing.
That's what I mean. It's like
we had a good left winger and we sold him.
You've got technically
Exactly.
good players.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I don't understand what's going on. So I'm going to pass it to you, Daniel. Obviously, I know Lawless has probably got an opinion on this. Do you think Moyes deserves a lot of the blame for this as well? You know, a lot of the fans, rightly so, criticising the board, but he has still got good enough players to at least be like
1000%.
decent football, 12, etc. I'm not expecting them to be top 10 challenging, but at least be, you know, showing a good account of yourselves. It's not good enough.
1000%. Like I've said, like I didn't put West Ham in the relegation zone just based on the fact that they've got a very good side. Like they've got a better side than most. You get what I'm saying? And there's something that Dan said, that's so key. Preseason. That's why. Obviously, I don't know if you might have seen the lineup for Chelsea, but Chelsea Twitter right now is scared, like really scared. There's no width in the side.
We'll talk about it in a second.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a second. Yeah, so basically, preseason needs to be the barometer for what happens in the first game of the season. Look at Newcastle, for example. Perfect example. They could have gone into that game and said, cool, let's go into the season and maybe play Wilson up front with maybe Joe Linton or Miguel Almiron because they were looking positive towards the end. No, what he did was play Andy Carroll, who was in form after preseason, scored a worldie. I don't know if you man saw the goal where he literally chests it, flicks it over the guy, shoots it with his right foot. So he's looking very, very positive in preseason. Comes into the West Ham game, and I don't think they could handle him. He looks very, very good, looked sharp, was working hard as well. Like he was tracking back. Like he looked very, very good. And as much criticism as Steve Bruce gets, and he was probably going to get the sack if the new owners came in, he's doing his job. He's doing very, very well. And you could even make the argument he's doing what Rafa Benitez did without complaining. He's doing the job without complaining, and he's progressing now. He's progressing. So West Ham, I don't. Everything Dan has said, I totally agree with. From the lineup to tactically where he positioned players, just everything about it wasn't great, man. And it's not looking promising for West Ham following that first game.
Told you about him, innit?
Kojo, go on. You have a little stint on Moyes, and then we've got to give a lot of respect to Newcastle. But I don't want,
listen, bro. I ain't got much to say. I don't even like saying his name. When I type his name, I put an asterisk on instead of the O because I don't like having that name in my library, like in my dictionary on my phone. The guy is just a poor manager, and the thing is, as much as I also like to blame him, at the end of the day, they've hired him twice now.
Yeah.
So you fired him the first time because obviously you thought he wasn't doing a good enough job, but you brought him back in anyway. So as much as I want to blame him for his poor decisions, he shouldn't be there in the damn first place. And that all comes back down to GSB. So until those guys go, you have the Moyes problem. And if you have the Moyes problem, you're going to have a problem on the pitch. Tactically, inept. Man management, inept. Everything inept. We're talking about Mourinho being stuck.
Player selection as well, please. Can we fucking
player selection? We talk about Mourinho. People talk about Mourinho being stuck in the old ages. This guy's still trying to look for Thomas Brzezinski on the pitch. That's how far back he is. So until they get rid of him, like I said, 18th place. See you later. Goodbye.
Right, Lawless, we'll let you have the final word on Moyes. Do you think? Because I agree with Kojo. Look, for me personally, right. We were saying just before the show, is Moyes to blame? When you guys actually brought up some of the things, and I thought, no, what? Why am I even defending him? Like at the end of the day, he's shown time and time again, similar to Jose, the guy's got no tactical awareness. I think in terms of last season, you could probably say you did okay to keep you in the league potentially, but I still think your plays are so much better. And I said to you before the start of the season, I'm still surprised that you're even in that conversation, regardless of if the board invests or not. Your team is way better than a lot of those teams down there. By a country mile, it's not even close. Look at your performance against Chelsea and Man United, right? At the back end of the last season. That is what I expect from West Ham. Why can't they do what Wolves are doing?
Give Bielsa those players that Moyes
exactly
different, completely different. Yep, completely different.
Yeah, a manager that we passed up on, you know what I mean? Same as Ancelotti. Like we could have went and tried to get an Ancelotti, but we kept on to Pellegrini. Pellegrini clearly didn't want to be here anymore. Yeah. And we waited. Everton went and sacked their manager while we pissed about. They went and got Ancelotti, then we went and got David Moyes again. And it's just ridiculous. And it's a combo. Like, yeah, he hasn't been backed. He hasn't been able to bring in his players and play the way he wants to play, but at the same time, you need to get the best out of the players that you have. You need, and that's a part of it. Is part of his role is a coach. You need to coach, and this is what I keep telling people. It's not enough to just say, oh, like Felipe Anderson had a bad season last season. Let's get him out. Alea didn't score like 20 goals. Let's get him out. And all this. You can't keep buying 40-odd million pound players or these big name players, sign them, it don't work out, and then you just ship them out. Coach them, make them better, make them fit to what you want to do. Like, and it looked like he was doing that in pre-season. He was doing what I've said we should have been doing and playing Anderson in the middle, so he don't have to worry about covering for Creswell, who's slow. Like, let him focus on creating, getting forward, being free, not having to think, oh, like do I need to sit deep here and like, you know, cover this left wing? Let him do that. And it looked like he was starting to do that. And then he just brings him on in the 88th minute. Like, his substitutions as well, he just takes so long to do it. Everyone calls him Differing Dave. Like, there was a story that he is now drawing up a list of transfers. Like, now he's still drawing up a list of potential targets. This is September. The season has started. Like, that's what you do before the season, before the transfer window. You go, these are the players I want.
Kojo.
He knows. He knows.
I'm just getting a sense of deja. See, the thing is,
It's the same shit,
I'm getting mad because this is exactly what we experienced. And I tell you right now, yeah. Remember when we lost 3-0 to Man City?
They might sign Fellaini, to be fair.
Oh, if you sign Fellaini, I'm not gonna lie to you, yeah, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Don't ever go to West Ham. You don't want it. Trust me. You don't want it.
Kojo, just to add to your misery, bro. Sancho just scored for Dortmund. He's not coming either.
Didn't you see the Fabrizio update? There was a Fabrizio update like 7 minutes ago.
Yeah, I've seen the update, but obviously we don't need to talk about Man United.
We're not paying, so it is what it is.
God, it's a simple story. But listen, just to finish on the game, obviously I want to give a massive respect to Steve Bruce because as you mentioned earlier, Daniel, he doesn't get enough credit because if that was Rafa, he would be saying, oh, you know, he's done X, Y, and Z. And again, it's too early to say, but the signings look very promising. And we all said about Callum Wilson, you know, okay, granted he's from a relegated team, but it was quite evident he didn't want to be there. Innit? So he's come on, he scored his goal. Happy days for Newcastle fans. Finally, potentially a bit of happiness for them. They do deserve it as well. Anyways.
Mike Ashley in, isn't it? That's the new thing. He was at the game.
Oh, no.
He even wants to sell.
That guy's an absolute cretin as well. I'm not going to get into it. Anyways, Daniel, do you want to tell us the lineup and then let's do the preview for Chelsea? But we're going to do 2 back-to-back previews because obviously you got Liverpool as well. So we'll do this one first and then we'll chat about it.
Yeah, so it's Kepa, James, Reece James, Christensen,
Oh,
Zuma.
James has started?
Yeah. Christensen, Zuma. I told you, I put James in though. I told you.
I sold him, man. I thought Aspilicueta was playing. Is Chilwell's injured, isn't he?
Nah, Chilwell's injured, and then Alonso.
That's why.
Then this is where it gets interesting. There's Jorginho, Kante, and Loftus-Cheek with Mount, Werner, and Havertz.
Huh?
Okay.
What? Have you got a lot of injuries or what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, GX injured, Pulisic is still injured, and
I suppose,
Thiago Silva's not available.
What about Hudson-Odoi then?
Hudson-Odoi's on the bench, yeah.
No, he needs to leave then, innit? Well, come on.
I don't think he needs to leave, but it's a bit mad for sentiment to be starting in your position.
If Loftus-Cheek is in that team, and you haven't got any width, exactly. But that midfield's sick though, I've got to say. In terms,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Jorginho and Kante would be interesting. Obviously, do you need both? Because obviously Kovacic is the main guy in it, really, innit?
You just want to be safe than sorry, I guess. Kante, Jorginho provides some sort of security. Kante, yes, more so. But you got Loftus-Cheek. I guess what that brings is trying to break the lines in case there's any like. Obviously, it's going to be compact. They're going to try and contain us. All we have to remember is Brighton aren't scrubs. Like people say, they'll get relegated, but they've got a good team. They got Lallana. Exactly. They've still got Lallana. They've still got Mope. They've still got quality players within their squad that work towards whatever Graham Potter's trying to do with them. So, boy, we just need to win. That's all I care about. I just care about the win. We just need to win.
Like, you know, it's the same with Arsenal. At the end of the day, the only important thing is getting the result, and it doesn't really matter performance first couple of games of the season. It's quite evident by your team that's not going to be a team moving forward.
Oh, 100%. So many changes.
You're going to be playing 4-3-3, realistically speaking. So to be fair to Lampard, what else can he really do in that situation? Lotus, what are your thoughts? Obviously, hearing the team news, are you still thinking it's going to be easy win for Chelsea, or you think there's no width as suggested, so to speak?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're going to. There must be a reason for Frank's for Frank's lineup. Like I said, it's going to be interesting. Once we see the game, then you'll get an idea of like, okay, this is why it makes sense what he's done, or he's got it wrong. So I'd be interested to hear the thought process behind playing more narrow. But I mean, on my prediction show, Premier League prediction show on West Ham Fan TV that we do now, I predicted, I've got it here, 2-0 Chelsea, right?
Okay.
I need this 2-0 to come in so I can get the 3 points. Like 2-0 Chelsea. I thought, you know what I mean? As much as obviously they've made a lot of good signings, I don't think it's going to be a situation where they're starting off like super high flying start. But really, I need Chelsea to go and do that. Like when I predicted 12th, we did the table thing, the full top to bottom table, and I said 12th, second for Chelsea. Like my friend laughed in my face. He literally laughed in my face when I said Chelsea 6th. So as much as I'm not a Chelsea fan and I'm some of my problems with Chelsea, I would like Chelsea to step up and so I can laugh back. And then I'm gonna get Daniel on the show and he can laugh at as well.
I'll laugh as well.
Oh, I love that. Kojo, what do you reckon regarding the game then?
I think the good thing for Chelsea is to embed Havertz and Werner in there. He's still got players that have been playing with each other for a while now. So when other guys start to come in bit by bit, they can embed slowly. As for this game, though, I feel like Brighton are playing three at the back to try and counter that speedy problem with Werner. So I think it's going to be a close one. I still think Chelsea will concede because I'm not convinced by the back line and the goalkeeper, obviously. So I think I want to go 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1. I know what, I'm still confident. I can't even remember what score I put. You know what? I was gonna say to you guys as well. We need to do the same thing where we tally the scores in terms of our score prediction. Then we'll have something as well for that as well. So obviously to put everyone on the line and that. So Lawless has already got his 2-0 down, so he can't change that. Right. Okay. So as it's the first, we might as well just do it anyways. Right. So Daniel, what are you going for, mate? What do you reckon?
What, today's game?
Yeah, today's game. What do you reckon?
I reckon 3-1.
Okay, 3-1. That's funny because I've gone for the exact same score. Obviously, this game's not going to go for your scores. It's a weekend result, so this is just a free hit, isn't it? Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Listen to your lineup. I agree that you got no width, but I think you're just going to slap them because
the quality should still be too much.
That front three, right, and all young lads are all going to be interchanging. Havertz can get on the ball. He's going to be an absolute problem in those pockets of space. They're not going to be able to hack it. So I think him and Mount might have a good relationship there, to be fair, because they're both very good at keeping the ball moving. Yeah. So I kind of anticipate that you're going to absolutely hammer them. So I'm going to say 4-0. Oh. And everyone's going to be like, oh, look.
I hope that happens.
Well, as long as Werner scores all
if that happens, you don't want to be on Twitter tonight. It's going to be a complete shutdown.
Obviously, you're going to be calling.
I'm going to be around. I'm going to maybe have a couple of pints. It's going to be great. It's going to
be great. Listen, I think Werner and Havertz are going to be an absolute problem. But just to finish off, let's do score predictions for the weekend's games, and then we'll wrap you up because, of course, the Chelsea game's going to start. We will start with. We'll have to start with Chelsea, aren't we? Because they've got Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Chelsea, Liverpool. So this is where we're going to start tallying points. As always, if you get the score exactly right, 3 points. If you get the prediction, 1 point. Obviously, if you don't get the prediction, it's 0 points. So if you predict a win, obviously you get 1 point. If you get the exact score, we'll say 3 points. And obviously, I'll make a note of it each week. Right. Okay, so Daniel, we'll just start with you as it's your team. Chelsea at Stamford Bridge against Liverpool. What are your thoughts?
3-2 Chelsea.
Wow! As a Man United fan, I would love if that happens and if Werner gets all 3 points as well. Fancy football, love that. So hopefully Werner hat trick. Kojo, what are you saying? So he's got 3-2. That is very bold, isn't it?
Yep.
2-2.
Okay, 2-2. Interesting. Nolas, what are you going for?
3-3. I'm going 3-3.
You know what? I was thinking it's gonna be high scoring draw as well because the both can't. Well, I say both can't defend, but Liverpool's defense wasn't brilliant.
Thiago Silva's back. Don't forget that Thiago's coming back.
Thank you for reminding me because I was gonna say a draw, but now that you mentioned that, 2-1 to Liverpool. So, I think Manny's gonna fucking have his pants down. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate that. So I'll say 2-1. Hopefully I'm wrong. Obviously I'm a Man United fan. So, anyways, I'll go 2-1 Liverpool just to mix it up a bit in it. Right. So let's go for the other big game of the weekend for us guys. Sadly, we couldn't get Mo's thoughts on it or Ahmed's thoughts on it. Arsenal v West Ham playing at the Emirates. No, I'll start with this one because I don't want people to think I'm just copying everyone's scores. I'm gonna say 2-1 Arsenal. I think it'll be a lot tighter than people think. I'd expect some sort of everyone's disagreeing with this, but I'd expect some sort of fight from West Ham and hopefully to show something because I'd be surprised if they could completely capitulate at the start. Everyone disagrees with this, so it's fine. That's I've got to mix it up. Kojo, what are you saying? 5-0?
4-0 Arsenal.
4-0.
4-0 Arsenal. Sorry. I'm sorry, Dan.
Honestly,
Sorry.
Twitter will get burnt to the ground. Trust me, Twitter will be on fire. Like
Oh,
if that happens.
Lawless, what are you going for?
Again, it depends. It depends on the lineup.
True.
It depends on the lineup. It's hard because, like, usually from week to week you can kind of gauge the lineup we're gonna play. But if he goes, if he sticks with the lineup that we have now, 3-1.
Yeah,
3-1 to Arsenal.
Fair
to
enough,
Arsenal. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, fair enough. I respect your honesty. Daniel, what you saying?
yeah, 3-1 Arsenal, man. West Ham's running the first 8 games.
We've spoken about this already, man. He's getting sacked. It's disaster. I just think because West Ham do well against the big teams. Well, also a big team, I don't know. But West Ham trying to step up in it. Obviously, I know Noble and Rice are going to be on it. Obviously, Rice will have a bit more fitness in his leg.
Noble shouldn't be on the pitch. Like I love Noble to death.
Yeah,
but
true.
Put Anderson on the pitch. Like
it's what it is. Obviously, we know Noble's gonna play in it, so unless he's had a complete Barney behind closed doors, we'll have to wait and see. Right, okay, we'll do 2 more. Of course, we've got to mention Man United because obviously we haven't played the game yet. Man United against Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. Kojo, we'll start with you, mate. What are your thoughts?
It'll be a tight one. I'm still not trusting the team right yet, so I'm gonna go 2-1, just about to us. 2-1 win.
All right, Lawless, what are you saying?
Who was it? Was it Man United Brighton?
Palace.
Oh, Palace. Oh yeah, Palace are looking good. They've made some decent signings. Yeah. I'm gonna say 2-1 Man United. I'm gonna say 2-1 Man United.
I'm not even confident.
It's gonna be a close game, but I think Man United will just edge it. I think they'll just edge it.
All right, Daniel, what are you saying?
Yeah, I think I was gonna say 2-0, but just because Crystal Palace have 1 game under their belt and they won that game, I'd just say 2-1 Man United. Crystal Palace look very, very good, so yeah.
All right, fair enough. I'll just mix it up and say 3-1 Man United. Bruno hat-trick. Right, it's all penalties as well.
Penalties, yeah.
He's got a penalty and he scores. Oh my God, the salt. Right, last game. Another banger actually. To be fair, I didn't even notice. Wolves against Man City. Wolves State. So away for Man City. Man City's first game. Last one, and then obviously we got it head off. Daniel, we'll start with you actually. What are you saying?
Man City. Wolves just won today actually, 2-0 as well.
Yeah.
Oh, who's home? Wolves
are at home.
Oh, that's a tough one, man. It's a tough one.
These games are good this week. To be fair, weekend so to speak.
Do you know what? Like, I want to see how the season progresses, and I'll be safe. I'm gonna give it 3-1 Man City. I'm gonna give it to Man City.
Wow, okay, that's very.
I don't think Man City will win. Like, I don't think it will be a tight game if they win. I think they'll win comfortably. Yeah.
Fair enough. My personal thoughts are it's gonna be a very tight game. I'm kind of torn between 1-1 and 2-1, but just because it's Man City's first game, I'm gonna say De Bruyne winner. Kojo 2-1 to Man City. Kojo, what do you reckon?
2-2.
2-2, and then Lawless, last score. What do you reckon there?
1-0 Man City. I'm gonna say we need a 1-0. I'm gonna say 1-0 Man City. Yeah.
It's gonna be tight either way. I think that's the overriding thought. Anyways, lads, as always, just want to say a massive thank you. Obviously, Man United will be playing next week, so if we lose, the video won't be on next week. Me and Kojo, I'm not coming. You're not gonna host it. But listen, boys, as always, love. I'm going to keep it short because I know the kickoff is literally in 30 seconds. So drop a like, subscribe, the links are below. And we'll see you guys next week, man. Peace.
Thank you very much.
Love that.
Guys, I'm off.
Of course.
Enjoy.
All the
Yeah.
friends have been. I've got
4-0,
all the
bro. 4-0.
I've got all